this area. I grew up at North County, and I'll never forget the first time my dad says, "We got to go watch this guy play. We've heard so much about Junior Seau, and he's the best high school athlete I've ever seen."
So you went to see Junior play
while he was in high school?
While he
he's
was
probably
in high
only,
school.
2 or 3 years older than you,
And
right?
I remember the first thing we did is went and watched him play basketball, and he was an incredible basketball player. And then went and watched him play football a number of times, and everybody just looked up to the guy, and then you met the person and that incredible spirit that he had.
Right.
And that's why I think a year later, there seems like there's not a day that I don't think about him, and particularly when you're in San Diego. I was up at the Brigantine with my son and my wife yesterday and my father-in-law, and that's the place Junior and I used to go all the time, have a fish taco, have a beer, and there was just, the guy was everywhere in town, and so it's hard to go somewhere and not think about him.
Right, and it sounds like you guys remained friends even after football.
Yeah, we had, and he never retired. So I mean, the guy would never stop playing, and so we always did remain tight. At the end of my career, I left the Broncos and was headed towards New England, and I thought maybe he would pull another thing and come out in October and play again. And one of the great lines of all time is, he told me that year, because I decided to go to camp and then retire. He said, "Buddy, you got it all wrong. I sit at home in training camp, then I go play. You go to training camp, then you retire." So great times and a great person.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know, how do you reconcile this? I mean, you were a great player. You worked really, really hard to achieve everything you did. Right. Junior was a big part of your off-season conditioning. Right. You have been able to retire from pro football, go into broadcasting. You've got a stable wife and children and family support system. I mean, how do you reconcile? Wow, I was so close with this guy, and he did this to himself.
Well, I think that's the hard part for everybody that knew him. You talk about that spirit, and it was a guy that seemingly was always so upbeat and lifted people, and brought people together. And as I said a year ago at his memorial service down at Qualcomm, is that's what we should remember, is that spirit of bringing people together and lifting somebody else's spirits each and every day. That's what I try to take from it, that lesson, that you can always lift somebody's day and inspire someone, because that's what I always remember him doing.
What is the documentary that you guys are filming now or trying to get done?
I know they're doing, I think with the year anniversary, doing something where they're going back at every year of his career. And I know they have people like Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft from the Patriots, a lot of people with the Chargers, and just talking to different people about the different years of his unbelievable career. And I'm sure a lot of funny stories, because there was always humor when you were around Junior. And so I think it's wonderful that they're doing that to honor him.
John, when you played in the NFL, you're a guy playing safety, and you don't look different now than when you were playing. I mean, you kind of look like the same guy. You were always throwing your body around, and I'm sure there were a lot of violent shots that you probably got up off the ground and went, "Whoa, where am I?" I mean, how much of this do you put on concussions and equipment in the NFL? There's over 4,000 players suing the NFL right now.
Well, now that studies correlate it to possible dementia and everything like that.
Well, I tell you, it's something that I'm trying to. I think for a long time, I played for 15 years, and I tried not to really learn about that because I didn't want to know. I thought it might affect the way that I play and whatnot. I can tell you, I feel fine. I think I was blessed with a hard head. I mean, I didn't suffer a lot of concussions. The way I played, I think people expect me to be walking around punch drunk, but I had one concussion in 15 years.
Wow.
Now, what they call a concussion these days, I probably had many more than that. A concussion, as you guys know, it used to be when you were absolutely knocked out. Now that definition has changed. I think it's important we continue to research it. I do know this, when everyone's starting to, a lot of scrutiny under the game of football, I think of all the people and young men that I played with in high school and college and in the NFL, and how many lives it has saved. And so, do we want to continue to make it safer? Absolutely, but it's also a wonderful game, and we can't forget about that as well.
I mean, look at these hits. I mean, by the way, you're getting a 15-yard penalty on that right now, pal.
I'm losing a lot of money in today's football right here.
I mean, come on, dude. That is a full-on penalty right there. I mean,
but that was just football then, and it is changing. That was good, clean, hard football. I was never accused of being a dirty player, but a hard physical player, and that's what you did, and that's what I learned from guys like Ronnie Lott, that was your job. I do sometimes worry that they're changing the game. I mean, it's something we all sign up for, right. But I can tell you that I don't think the whole thing's overblown. I think we should educate ourselves. I think the area where make the equipment as safe as possible.
Right. No question about it.
That's the thing I'm all for.
Definitely.
We're almost a year away from Junior Seau's suicide, May 2nd, and here at the UT, I know a lot of his friends, his former teammates have been shuttling in and out because there is going to be a really beautiful documentary about a guy who was a local legend and whose spirit still remains all around town, as you were mentioning.
Absolutely.
Johnny, it's great to visit with you.
Thank you.
Thanks
so
for
much.
being
Great
here.
being with you
Have
guys.
a great Easter this weekend.
Thank you. You
and
too.
I may catch you in church.
All right.
Believe it or not.
All
He's
right.
crashing
Yeah,
the party.
I know I am. Stick around. Don't go anywhere. We're getting to that spelling bee coming up. Well, give us a minute to talk to you about